the 168 horsey.
Hey guys, so I had a chance today to go by the local dealer here, 5-Star Motorsports, where I got to test out the RZR Pro XP. The one I tried on the lot was the premium, the middle model between the Ultimate and the base. I haven't seen any bases out yet, but there was a couple Ultimates there. One was built and the other one not quite yet, but so yeah, I tried the premium. Kind of wanted to feel what it was like to sit and ride in the red version, because if I did get one, I wouldn't go white myself, as I had a RS1 that was white, and wear and tear on the white I didn't like as much. So I'll probably go red with this one. Haven't done red before anyways. I actually like it on this particular model and design. It looks good, but either way, just want to get the feel of it, the feel of the ride, feel of sitting in it, the view, the drivability of it. I know it's just in a parking lot. I just want to zip it and feel the turbo, the engagement, just things you could tell obvious right away. The feeling of the wheel in your hand and where you're sitting and everything. There's not much you could do like suspension wise to really test out or anything like that. Handling and stuff like that, but as we all know, the live valve system is pretty desirable because it's pretty damn good. I've had it and ridden it in the past myself in the Turbo S, and to be honest, I got nothing bad to say about it. I really liked it. Be awesome if it was in every single unit I've ever had. Be awesome. So yeah, I just want to check it out and do a little walk around, get some first impressions, see if it's in my line of sight for purchasing or not. I've had lots to compare it to. I definitely do like the 64 wide versions of machines. I don't have the urge to widen those any either, or I would have just gone 72 right off the bat. So I'm probably gonna stay 64 for a while. I just like where I can go with them. The tightness of them, you'll see in this Pro XP, part of its beefiness and strength is that it is a 64 unit and doesn't have all that leverage and distortional kind of hits and impacts it's going to take. It's a very tight unit. If you look at it and how it's built and you go right up to it, you'll see what I mean. It looks pretty tough to beat up on, and like it could take quite a bit. So hope you enjoyed the video. Give me any feedback if I should buy that or trade an X364 for it, XDS, or add it to the lineup to compare them a lot. Either way, just in case anybody's watching, I was just looking. Relax, it's all good. You know who you are. So enjoy. Give me some feedback, guys. Tell me what you think. So yeah, as I was saying, this video is pretty much some first impressions. You know, up in person, every machine's so different online, and watching other people's videos, and like you guys will be doing with this one. But hopefully I give some feedback on what it's like face to face, machine to face, and I'll follow it up with a little walk around, and after that I'll just follow it up with what my final thoughts were on it, and we'll go from there. All right, here we go. We are at 5-Star looking at this Pro XP. This is the premium edition. Just gonna do a quick walk around, get a really good look at it. Good to see how it's all built up, and everybody's talking about how much more beefed up everything is. So you can see that pretty quick. It's even the boxed arms there, and suspension Walker Evans on this one, and the base, right? All of them, right? Or 30s? They look so big. They almost look like 32s from here, but and they all come with this little bit of a bumper. So it depends on which model you go. You go base, ultimate, or the premium like this one in the middle here. So no electronics in here really for the No stereo like the Ultimate, but still get the sweet seats and the harnesses. Yeah, the detail and the finishing is pretty damn nice on this, for sure. So the whole frame's a one piecer now. Pretty cool. Intakes it up nice and super high. There you got the bed back there, it's pretty awesome. So got a nice huge deep bed, you can do a bunch of different things. You also want bigger on the roll cage, definitely stronger on the roll cage. Looks more meaty up there. For stock, that's good. Instead of getting something so weak for stock. Got your mounting parts there for your kickers and everything on there. So as far as jumping in this thing, it doesn't feel like a RZR to me right off the bat. It has a whole new different feel from the seating position. As soon as you sit in it, pretty great ground clearance here too, right? So as soon as you sit in it, it just feels like you're not in a Turbo S, you're not in an XP1K. It's a completely different machine because of the seating height, how it lays back, the comfort of the seats. You got your steering wheel, no telescopic in the Premium, but whatever the details. Everybody knows all the different storage and the basics of it and everything. Grab bar, back and forth, but set, ready to take the Rockford stereo. But it comes down to how does it drive. If it doesn't drive better, then it wouldn't be better. But first thing I noticed instantly was the engagement, the clutching was very tight. Didn't have a lot of the old rattly kind of noises. The steering was tight, but the turning radius was a huge improvement. So being a longer wheelbase, I kind of thought, oh, it might be swinging a little wider in the bushes, even though it's 64 inch, but this thing turns. You can back up and turn it on a dime in this thing. It's very, very impressive. And my other favorite thing about it was a little more power and how that turbo winds up and gets in there right away. So you don't have the delay in the wind up. It just kind of boots in there and gets going right off the bat. Can't tell you much about the four-wheel drive system right now because I haven't actually tested it there in that way. But yeah, I just zipped up and down in here. It's a pretty fun-ass machine, I'll tell you that much. So this is the Premium. You could put an extra $5,000 in this and make it pretty awesome. Flipping awesome to have. So yeah, it's hard not to want to own one of these and drive one of these. Won't lie. Tempting. Well, I'm going to take it for another quick boot and just really feel this turbo and see if you guys can check it out. It's one of those machines, holy smokes, like does it ever just looks kick-ass and dominant when you walk up in person to this. It's pretty crazy. You can see the build quality way more when you're in person. So let's give her a little boot. So with the Ultimate, we would have the information center here, right? GPS and all that stuff, the ride command. Stereo would be in here. Those are a couple of the big main things. Get your dynamic shock system, that's another huge thing to justify the dough. So look at the sharp turning though. Super sharp turning. This is much nicer than the old one, that's for sure. Back, you can actually see when you look behind you pretty good. Going high. 2. Yeah, it pulls. It's way more instant than the Turbo S for sure. I'm just going to go down here, then do a quick turnaround. And we'll blast out of here out into the parking lot. But yeah, look at the turnaround on this unit. It's just one quick, look how sharp this goes. it's not jerky. You can just feather this thing to where you actually want to stop and not worry about bumping it and hitting something. So you reverse, you got lots of sight line in reverse. Look at that turning radius, it's pretty killer. So I don't know, I get a lot of feedback on that sightline complaint. I don't see where, yeah, you're missing a bit down there, but I mean, compared to every other one, it's the same, or sometimes worse. But I mean, this is my view right here. You tip right there, I can see everything right there. I mean, how much more better can it be? So I'm just gonna back up and get a little more of a run here. So when you back up, you got a pretty good view here. I'm gonna lay into this now. See how she goes. Wow. Dang. Compared to the 168 horses, you feel it? It's also just the setup. Gotta say, I love it. Pretty sweet, but look at this. Look at this tight turn here. Wow. Like to see that turn in Turbo S. Lots of bad lighting going on here. Alright, so now we come to my final thoughts on the first impression. So, I'm going to say impressed. I'm impressed by the Walkaround first. When it came to the, if we're gonna go build quality, I mean, it's a bit of a separate thing to say the build quality, if that's proven or not. Need some riding for that, but it looks like it's there. Definitely a lot better. Not so much in the body and the plastics. They're good. There's a nice finish there. Some loosey spots that I'm not so sure about how well they'll do, especially down the sides at the back. But I'm gonna say, as far as the quality of just the overall, just how it's set up and engineered, when you look at the front suspension and the back suspension and the framework and just how it's all put together, the bends in the arms and where they are and how they go in and double sheared, and there's a lot of things that look very strong, very just the other razors just seem weak. They remind me of something when you're just looking at them, that they can bend up and collapse and fold and all that, and these ones just seemed like everything was designed supporting each other, and it seemed like a very strong system set up. So I'm really curious to see how it's going to handle. I know the shocks are going to handle great, and just wondering how it's going to do. From what I've seen, it does pretty darn good for 64 inches. Got lots of travel, and so that was my first impression there, was that quality. And the interior is just night and day. It's where it should have been a long time ago. You know, from the seats and the strength and everything, just the whole interior is honestly great. As soon as you step into it, I felt perfect, man. This is gonna give me a good idea what this is gonna feel like. I already liked it quite a bit. So then I got in there, started her up, and went for a couple zips in it. First thing I noticed, just backing up and moving around, was the clutching, the engagement. Just everything felt polished and smoother and better. Kind of reminded me my 2020, or sorry, that X3 XDS compared to the 18 I had, where it just seemed like everything got finessed better. Is it even better than that? It was pretty impressive. I almost have to run in my X3 now and do the same thing and feel, but it's different. It's definitely very polished feeling. The power steering was great. The feel of it, everything was just nice and easy and smooth. It felt very polished. The power steering, but the turning radius was huge benefit. I mean, they lengthen the machine, and then they go and put this tighter radius in. First, right away, I was thinking, wow, like this in the woods would be awesome. You got your power there. The turbo engages quicker. It doesn't need to wind up and spool up. It engages quicker, and it gets rolling, gets pounding right away. There is a little additional horsepower to 181 from 168, but I think a big part of that feel is like right in the low end. It gets rolling right away, and it pushes hard. So definitely great work there. Reliability and all that kind of stuff, all those things, never gonna know from this video, but out of the box it definitely seems tight. Hopefully all these parts and components and everything can last and stay tight like that for a while. And then when it came in hitting the pedal, yeah, it felt beautiful. Absolutely. 181. I'd rather have 181 horsepower, not worried about having 200 and having it run right and feel right, than a big clunky jerky kind of goofy 220 horsepower that's, because of how it works, it's probably really only, you know, less horsepower because it's not really working quite right or engaging right anyways when you need it. I mean, what's the point of having 200 horsepower if you're whipping around a corner and you need to kick out and do something if you know, you're already around the corner and done the corner by the time the turbo spools up and kicks you, right? So I'd rather have more quicker instant response. This machine definitely has that. So my thoughts are, if I had this instead of the Turbo S, I got a funny feeling maybe I might not have swapped over to an X3 again, just because it's already kind of there in a bunch of ways, and I'd have been happy with a lot of other stuff on the Pro XP. So I don't know if that would have let me go over to the X3. Now that I'm at an X3, do I want to come back? Same kind of story there. They're similar in a lot of ways now. Definitely a lot more than they were before. I can still feel the differences, yes, but they're definitely closing the gap and becoming more similar. So is it worth it to cross over? I can't see that right now. Is it worth it to throw one into the family and join the rest? Well, that's always an option. It's gonna ring through my head for a bit, but yeah, I'll wait and see how these roll for just a little bit longer here before I go in that direction. But very impressed, and I can't say I've gone into a RZR in a while and came out of it with that thought, the very impressed thought. I love the Turbo S. It's got a lot of features and abilities that are pretty cool, but the overall bunch of quality issues, and still got those old clunky junky seats that flop around everywhere, and it just doesn't do it for me paying a massive premium price and getting that out of it. But the Pro XP is the new next gen fit and finish, super awesome for the rider experience. I think this is gonna be awesome to sit in and ride. So we'll see. Hopefully I get some good test time on one soon out in the real terrain, and I'll do a video and give that feedback to you guys. Anybody that's got anything to say, why I should love this machine even more than I just said, or why I shouldn't, please comment below. I'd really like to break this sucker down and get to it. So, all right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Till the next one.